that we can travel. That means I will not be teaching. Why I just came is I don't even feel like teaching. I feel like I should go somewhere and sit down and think. But out of everything I've been asking God to do for me in this life, what I'm about to do now is one of those important things I want God to do for me. I say it to Rev. Mark when we go to the room. I've always told him, even in private conversation, that I want to be an African apostolic elder to Igbos, a prosperous, envious elder, so that I can help to raise a land in Rios. I'm here to open your eyes very seriously on something you don't think about, but it's the number one thing that matters, both in heaven and on earth, but maybe you don't think about it. Because there is no way royalty and anything that is important can be subjected to chance. It's not possible. There is no way also we can take from the past. It's not possible. Past produce future. If there is no good past, the future cannot be magical. It's not possible. It's not so possible for you to neglect who is your father and all your father provided to make you honorable and still desire honor. There's no magic. When I say there is no magic, it means it is not subjected to chance. Life is lived from a point where the past stopped. Why I take precarious decisions is because I understand very early that I didn't get anything from the past, not much. I didn't get anything from this environment to be anything. Because I just came out of the road now to enter into this place. I look at the environment. It will not be developed by luck. Developing it is not just getting one small amount of money and build a house. It's not what I'm talking. And be senseless. And how much amount of money can an illiterate get? Is there any relationship? Is there any relationship between value and darkness and blindness? Is it possible? Is there anything we can also do? Is there anything we can do to change a soul that came from a very poor, that came in a poor way? The poverty of that soul censors the intake of light from its nature. So it doesn't have strength and ability to stand up or even look at, see something it's supposed to see. So it makes the leg go to wrong places. Because it's a poor soul. It does defy the imagination. And then sit on the dust. I want to bring a revelation from ancient intelligence. When I mean ancient, I mean intelligence that tongue can't kill. And it's not Pentecostal. That's why I call it ancient. Whether men think about it or not, it will rule. So I'm going to take two courses that look alike. And please, because this is my last night here in the program itself, we know in the evening tomorrow we're going to have rally, and we're going to still come here in the morning to have half day. In birth, some of them don't wait for impartation of men, not too much. Because I was hearing Pastor Chimeze tell you to clothe me. How do you clothe me with prayer? So I want to share on the everlasting royalty of the Ancient of Days. Now, there is something I said about 2 ways we produce great spirits. I've mentioned birth. Another one is impartation. There is no dominion that want to rule that doesn't care about treasures in 18 vessels. Let me say it again. I said there are no dominion that rules that doesn't care about treasures in 18 vessels. Now, why Africa is joking or is not much yet, or maybe the Southeast, is because they don't care about treasures in 18 vessels. What I mean is, the other day we were talking about a moving throne. That when Jesus was born, he was a moving throne. He was a moving throne. That is, it was a throne in an 18 vessel. When the Lion of Judah comes, he's still going to be the real throne of the majesty on high, on 18 vessel. I think we should look at 2 Corinthians chapter 4, where the Bible mentions throne in 18 vessels. I mean, treasures that are in 18 vessels. An Igbo man doesn't understand it. His treasure is the one in his pocket, not in a vessel. His treasure is a small money in a defiled vessel, in a worthless vessel. And he is not taught to know that Yahweh and the heaven does not relate with that type of treasure. So he is ready to destroy the real treasure for the one that doesn't matter. So he will try to destroy the treasure. He will try to destroy the treasure that matters, because he wants to get treasures that doesn't matter. So he destroys the real treasure, the one that can meet God, the one that determines this one. He destroys it for this one because he's senseless. Because he doesn't know that this one is just like what I used to talk about. You want to keep a boyfriend that's giving you money, and you're trying to lie down with him so that you can get money to wear a good cloth. You can put money in your pocket, but you're giving yourself to him for money. So you destroy the vessel for worthless vessel in the hand, treasure in the hand. You destroy the real treasure, which is the real you that defines you, for something very small. that will vanish with time, that doesn't even have much value. Because you can't think deep to know that even some of the things that this one in the hand does, you don't even need it. Except the learning is not much, so we create problems. That is why men who recognize treasure in 18 vessel are highly very sacrificial and selfless, because they know what matters. I don't want to take it in a hurry. I'm going to go deep into it. You see, because this one, whatever this one gives you that is outside gives you, you will need it if the real treasure doesn't have much value. You will start looking for money, treasure, physical money in the bank account. You will start looking for it with a lot of heat when this one is the treasure of your being, is not much, is not valuable. And there is nothing before all of us who are divine spirits. There is nothing you can do to add value to your treasure from money. Can I repeat it? Those who said that they are wearing expensive wristwatch, if wristwatch is what is giving their hand value, then they are not real human beings. If this 18 vessel, if this vessel doesn't have value, and what you want to use to give this hand value is wristwatch, then there's no sense. Wristwatch cannot give this hand value from those of us who can see. If wristwatch give this value, why did I need? Is this a good sight? But that is his royalty. It will reign forever. People wear about that to cry before it. They buy expensive perfume to cry before it. When will it end? This is an interpretation of what honor is all about. Nobody's telling you this truth. But I hate immortality, and I will never go to grave. The vanity of destroying this tabernacle. The what? The vanity of destroying this tabernacle to get wristwatch is a manipulation of witchcraft. Let me ask a question. In the Bible, didn't you see two Adams? The Adam of conscience and the Adam of innocence. The Adam of innocence was just Adam in glory, supported by 4 rivers and golden land. Just because of the treasure in the 18th vessel. And suddenly, Satan, who is also a divine being, who is a God, because you see, when he became a God, he blindfolded man, so that man will not understand what matters. So what he did was to defy, molest, made mundane the real image, the being of the Adam that gave him 4 rivers and golden land. He just molested that being. He just defied that being. He just made caricature of that being. And then after he made caricature of that being, the being became unworthy. The being became, yes. Pastor, it's you that I'm talking to. We can change the line. So the being became unworthy. The being became unworthy. The being became unworthy to be in God's presence, and the being became unworthy. The being became unworthy to control the 4 rivers, because the being is crushed. Just like I'm talking now, and Pascal stood and is moving there, and you remove your eyes from me. Is it me that you should look at, Pascal? And then somebody says it's nothing. They don't know poverty. You didn't see what I just said. Now, if you don't have a teacher that say what I said this and I just said now. It's not. Listen, there are some people that have wasted half of their life in just. And Dad, please allow me to talk to you. Because this is my last time in this type of meeting. Is he coming and going? Huh? So let's watch for some time. Don't you see short time out here? I've said so many things already. So many useful things. I just came now. There is no way Adam will lose that being and still be in Eden. That being that attracted and sustained 4 rivers. That being that was not associated with it is a being. Now, when he cracked it, maybe what Lucifer did against him, like a snake, in a snake form, was to make him mind something that is useless. Open his eyes to something useless. Something maybe, something carnal. Something, if you use carnal, look religious. Something that the value is very low. Let me ask you to listen to this. If you are going to go far in life, like you're going to study value very early. And if you're here, you're a mother, open your eyes, the eyes of your children to value very early. Because ordinance, we're not trifle with it. Because it is a reason. If you like, the reason why for almost everything on earth. In the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4. Second Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17. Verse 7. Go ahead.
But we have this treasure in earthen vessels.
But we have this treasure where? Yes.
that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us.
And then the Bible says the treasure we have in 18 vessel bears the power of God. Is there anything on earth that is more valuable than the divinity of man? That is, you saw a human being walking, and he's a walking throne. In this part of the world, what they call Obatobie is a rich man. Is it not? It's not true. It's not a rich man that is Obatobie. It's treasure in a being. It's not somebody who has money. It's not a fool that has money. If the being is not much and somebody become rich by chance, become rich by chance, money can't stay with something that doesn't have value for a long time. Treasure cannot be with a valueless man for a long time. He might have it for a while, but that treasure will be making demand on the quality of treasure, the original treasure, which is the being. Now, this is something Satan doesn't want people to understand. In that Colossians chapter 2:3 that we've been reading, can you read it again? Go ahead.
In whom are hid all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge.
In who are hid all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. Now, wisdom and knowledge is a treasure in an 18 vessel. Now, that wisdom and knowledge that are treasures in 18 vessel are not buyable. You don't purchase it in the market. And you don't get it overnight. Now, the Bible says that Jesus, please pay attention, that Jesus is a treasure. Is a treasure. His wisdom and knowledge are treasures. And in Luke chapter 2:11, that treasure was born. It was not acquired. Is there no difference between an acquired treasure and an inherent treasure that has 7 eyes, that has 7 horns, and then has 7 spirits? He was born a treasure. And then this one was not born a treasure, and he went to acquire treasure from valuelessness. How much can he get? He's looking for something he can't keep. And from Yahweh, keeping is more important to Yahweh than getting. Now, a lot of people can't be rich continuously. Please listen to me. Can't be rich continuously. Can't even transfer to children because they don't have ability to keep. You cannot transfer to your children something you don't have. You don't have treasure in your 18 vessel to keep. You have to keep before you can transfer. Wait. Do you think you can use money to produce progeny? Is it possible? Huh? I want you to think what Locust Army will be in 5-7 years. Think. Just think. You see, because the earth and the world has told towards a perishable direction, in hopelessness. May God bless you for hearing. The moment that Jesus was born as a treasure in 18 vessel, in Matthew chapter 1 and 2, the brightness of that vessel, which is synonymous to wisdom and knowledge, appeared, it defied the firmament and reigned. And then eyes of onlookers who have ability to interpret stars saw it. You know, I used to say magicians. Magicians are those who study the position and motions of stars in the luminary firmament. When you say this is astrologers, they study positions and movement of stars in the stellar firmament. So they study it. And they discovered that the crying child has treasure in 18 vessels. So in 2:11, they took to him in reaction perishable treasure. Somebody who didn't beg them. A child that was crying, they gave him gold, myrrh, and frankincense. Did he tell them, look at the precarious steps or path they followed to him? Almost died. But because their minds are sanctified, they know what to use their life to look for. Because, excuse me, the only way I can remember these men this night in this part of the world after thousands of years is just for that step they took. Because in their being, they don't have value to be remembered. There are people that doesn't have value to be remembered. It's not your fault. I want to bring out one word. Just one word. And it's a technical word that will stir up thought from you. In Luke chapter 2:11. Then I will go on. Luke chapter 2:11.
For unto you is born this day.
Thank you, I'm done. The word is B-O-R-N. It is not an acquire. It's a bat. And yet people don't think. Why wouldn't they keep ruling? If someone doesn't know that what we worship is a nature, not effort, then you start competing. We worship bat. But it is only ancient people that worship treasure in 18 vessels. even as children, maybe, excuse me, those three wise men, in those steps they took, is where they are wiser than us. You see, because this instruction has not come to that intelligence, or have they? Huh? Have we received ability to? Is there any gate around here now through which the livings around here connect to divinity? Now, if somebody that is alive doesn't connect to divinity, is doomed. Church, is not great? Huh? Is it not awesome? Now, look at two reigning dominions. Now, do you know why we are talking about them? Why we are talking about them is because we are trying to live from something that is in the past, which is ridiculous. We're supposed to have improved this, but these practices are still better than us. They are better than our practices. Because of time, if you look at Matthew 2, 1 and 2, there was a study, a relevant study of ancient order. I say a relevant of. Okay, let me ask you a question. Since you know me as a shepherd of Lucas Army, or since we came here since 10 days, is there anything you have done from the heart of your heart just to recognize that there is something you know about me that is unique? Is there a small way you have treated me differently? Just to support what you know. Since you came into this place 10 days ago, is there anything that you have done to recognize that this is a covenant camp of immortal people? And it cannot be produced another place. And the only land where Yahweh put his name. Is there anything you have done to recognize that this place is also a covenant camp of a eunuch? Is there anything you have done? That thing I'm calling your mind to order to have done is not what is called power. And if you are not looking closely, is it not the dwelling, if we say that this place is the dwelling place of Yahweh, is it not because this ground is the dwelling place of Yahweh that it can have capacity to produce my kind of man? How can a land that doesn't have value produce a kind of my man? Somebody who is talking this and I'm talking, is not a kind. Maybe somebody hear what I said. I say it's not. I would like you to listen. The learning, there are two learnings in that story. The first learning is astrological learning that made them wise men from the east. It's a form of learning. At least he connected them to the signs of the star. There is another learning again from book by scribes. And yet this environment does not have any meaningful learning as a channel, and they are existing. So if they don't have learning, how does they connect to divinity? If you cannot recognize and settle in your mind that what you know should make you do some things, start it from now. That anytime God gives you peculiar revelation, you should react to it. Maybe you didn't hear what I said. That anytime God gives you peculiar revelation about a woman, if you pray now when it is 4 and we go to that room and pray, and you say, Lord, from today I will take advantage of the things you reveal to me to behave differently. Is it not loss of mind? Is it not loss of mind and devaluation and maybe oath of poverty that can Yahweh will spend a lot of time trying to tell you that this thing is in this way, and you woke up and then does not have strength to treat that in the way it was shown to you? So the person that showed it to you, didn't show it to you for nothing. The person showed you that this is a camp, that this is Christian, and this is the kind of this being. The essence is for you to do something those who didn't see it can do, and then take advantage of seeing it to be different because you already know. But instead, you saw that thing and ignore it, as if the person who showed you that vision or bring that understanding to your mind didn't reveal that thing to you for a reason. But for if the wise men, they will abandon everything to respond to something they saw. Not that they abandoned everything, took a precarious step to something they saw. They also took gift to hallow something that they saw. And then that thing they hallowed preserved them. Excuse me. I would like you to listen. One of the character of poverty is that poor people invest their life and the time and their treasure on something that is valueless, because they are valueless, and then those things disappear from their hand because they have already wasted it in strange contacts. So why wouldn't blindness lead to death? I want to bring one word from that. I want to bring one word from that story in chapter 2 of the book of Matthew. Just one word. Matthew chapter 2, verse 11. And when, don't take it, then we all know the story. Take from line 3. And fell down and worship him. That's what I want to bring. I want to bring up fell down and worship a child because of he's a treasure, his type of treasure. Now, if you look at John chapter 3, John said, he said, we are two types of treasure. You know, like what we read the other day, the Bible said the whole of Jerusalem and Judea went out to John. Went out to John because of the value of John. And then when John was to be compared with Jesus, John said something I want you to know, I want you to hear. He said, he is not like me. The latchet of his sandals I cannot remove. And then came back and said, I must decrease. So that treasure will increase. If John refused to decrease, ordinance will decrease him, will force him to go down. It's not about struggling or pride. It's that the two vessels are different. They are different in nature. And because they are different, God must react to them different. Attention, destiny. John have already said, this is heavenly, and I'm of the earth. I've spoken so much already in a short time. Did you get much? Did you get much? Don't you see the fellowship between two treasures? There is a treasure of that baby, and there is ordinary gold, ordinary frankincense, ordinary man, ordinary gold, given to somebody who didn't ask them, just to get recognition. Now, in chapter 3:15 of the book of Genesis, the Bible says, the seed of the woman shall bruise. Huh? The head of the serpent. So he conquered the snake in a seed form. That is bad. Now, let me leave it. I'm talking about royalty. Please listen to this. If you look at chapter 7:22 of the book of Acts of Apostles, and if you look at Luke 24, verse number 19, I would like you to look at that. Can you look at here, Luke? Acts chapter 7:22. Go ahead.
And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of Egyptians.
That Moses was learned in all the wisdom of Egyptians.
And was mighty in words and in deed.
And was mighty in words and in deed. 24:19 of the book of Luke.
And he said unto them, what things? And they said unto him concerning Jesus of Nazareth, which was a prophet, mighty in deed and in word before God and all the people.
Galatians chapter 4, 1 and 2. Go ahead. The book of Galatians, he said, now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth not from a servant, though he be heir of all, he be lord of all, that is under tutors and governors, until the time appointed of the Father. Now, I would like us to listen to something. Some people don't even know that after seed, the next power is impartation. Now, please, I would like you to look at this. There are 3 ways teachers teach. 3 prominent ways. Number 1, teachers show knowledge. They show knowledge. Number 2, teachers display knowledge through their character. And number 3, teachers impart the spirit of knowledge in people. Not every teacher that has it. Now, there are different kinds of teachers according to value. Let me say again. There are different kinds of teachers according to. There are teachers that the only thing they have is to teach. They are the lowest kind of teachers. But there are teachers that teach, and then they have the character of what they are teaching. That's another group. And then the most important teachers are those who teach, and they have character of what they are teaching, and they have spirit that can even be imparted on people as they are teaching, because they have turned into word. Their word has become their spirit. So the spirit of their word go into people as they teach. Now, Remember that I'm sharing on the everlasting throne of the Ancient of Days. Great dominions consider the value of teachers. Because knowledge and wisdom are treasures. Those who impart them are also treasures. Let me say again. I said knowledge and wisdom are treasures. And those that impart them are the source of the treasure. If I stop now, I've tried. Huh? Huh? Wait. If it is not possible to go to ruins and get great teachers, it's not possible. Because if there are treasures in 18 vessels, there will not be ruins. Maybe they didn't hear what I said. I said if there will. Do you know why I'm not hurrying up? I'm blessed already. You know what the prophetic do? The emotions of God, we do it without pattern. It's a pen. It's a pen of destruction. Every destiny has a particular teacher that imparts it. I want to thank God for it, what I just said. Now, if a particular teacher is meant to impart to you for a particular destiny, and you miss that teacher, you will miss that destiny when you miss the teacher that gets you ready for it. So God knows it. Let me help you with this. If you watch America and Russia, does Russians and Americans think the same way? I'm asking you. Huh? From the way Russians operate, let me ask you a question. Can Russia be greater than America? Huh? Huh? Now, America, is it not showing from manifestation? Reason is the police of the world. Look at how Trump manipulated the problem in Iran and had only 12 days war. And Putin has been in Ukraine since 3 years. Clap hand for me to be saying it. And Putin, is he not seeing it? Please don't allow me to stay here when it's 4. If we can become all that we want to be Why didn't Putin see it? Putin is insulting America. And they are the 12th or 14th in the economic nation of the world. Somebody is number one. America is the richest in the world. America has military ways more than any other country on earth. Has military what? And Putin doesn't have money, doesn't have ways. He's a Western. That's why I can't stay when it's 4. Because there are some things I have to allow you to have for yourself. Because of the way you are already. It is very, very urgent for local army to have 3 branch churches in America as quickly as possible. You see, David cannot be a king without the support of Saul. Because there is a preparation that he has to follow. Because he's not the first. That is why even when Saul missed it, it took a lot of time to take him out gradually, pull him out. And then David replaced him. And even when David replaced him, we couldn't still forget him. Because he was anointed. His story is in the Bible, well documented. This work we are doing is pulling from America. The treasure, the major treasure of this altar is in America, it's in dollars. Because America is a reigning nation that must transfer mantle. There's always something to get from the past. Let me emphasize something. When Jesus was born, it is there in prophecy that he should be taken to Egypt, where he will see something with his eyes, be part of a particular learning that is unavoidable, that can make him a Messiah. It is that still ancient culture. It is still that ancient culture. I say it is still that ancient what? Culture. That in 722, that Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. That also took Jesus to Egypt. Because Egypt is made great in imparting people of power. It is a home of science. It's a home of wisdom. And at that particular time, Egypt was the economy of the earth. So Jesus needed impartation from it, even though he's the Son of God. It is not reading book. He needed the impartation of environment. There are things your leg have to make contact with. Your eyes have to see. Not physical, not spiritual eyes. We are here. Somebody said, I am connecting online. But Kennedy does not have camera. You're only hearing my voice. And you are a locust. And all that I taught here, 10 days, you didn't make contact with it. And we are wherever you are. And something is telling you, you will take this, you will follow this army far. When somebody is moving forward, two people are going somewhere, and somebody is moving forward, and another person is not moving. After some time, they're walking. One will keep walking, the other one can't keep. Because you see, if you are not looking at where you're supposed to look, huh? You're not looking at where you're supposed to look. After a time, when you keep seeing things you're not supposed to see, your journey on that path will either be truncated or slow down. If what I'm saying is nothing, why did God associate some people in the Bible with the person that raised them? Wait. Mordecai refused to kneel before Muhammad. And Esther defied the law of Shushan. Think. Mordecai didn't only teach Esther. Mordecai imparted Esther with a kind of spirit. So you cannot know Esther without knowing Mordecai. You cannot know Jesus without knowing Christ. You cannot know Paul without knowing Gamaliel. You cannot know Christian without knowing the Lion of Judah. I don't learn from two teachers. Wait. Was he not from fellowship? From fellowship. Fellowship of the soul. Is it not from fellowship of the soul that dreams are produced? So Pharaoh dreamt. About famine. If God have to sell this land now, sell this land. The spirit that want to sell Nigeria, sell Africa, spirit, if you want to sell it to buyers, it doesn't sell it to buyers. He start relationship with buyers. What does he start? He starts relationship with buyers. Because the spirit own the land through its value. And if you want to hand the land over to another person, he imparts the value that made him to owe it to that same person. So that that person can own it and keep it with that same value that made him the owner. And then somebody else want to take it through prayer. I have preached for 32 years. You don't know what it means. You don't know what it means for somebody to lack impartation growing up. You don't know the degree of poverty. I said in my book on upbringing, you can't go up except somebody bring you. You can't go up on your own. And how high you can go is controlled by the person that is building the step. There was a fellowship between Joseph and the spirit of dream that made him prime minister. What that spirit did was to first of all separate him, gag him, produce a soul, a sin soul. And then Pharaoh was learned because he's already a king. Don't forget that he didn't become a king by luck. In 4:1 and 2 of Galatians, he was raised in the wisdom of Egypt. And that raising gave him a bigger dream. And then two people that were raised met. When Pharaoh saw Joseph, Pharaoh recognized there was a spirit in Joseph that gave him wisdom. When I say this now, I will ask questions. Because this I'm doing now is the only thing I'm teaching. The other immortality, I'll teach it in the morning. Maybe I'll come early because we don't have much time anymore. Wait. I'm still talking about the vessel. How can you be great when you neglect great contacts? Somebody said, I want to speak my mind. I said, what value has the mind you're speaking? When was that mind you imparted that it is talking? How does an uncultivated mind talk? Your sense and your wisdom, is it not a product of accumulation of all that you took in? You cannot call yourself a wise man when you don't know what made you wise and who made you wise. This is why I said it. In transfiguration, the moment that Jesus climbed the mountain, Elijah and Moses came there. The two best people in the Old Testament, the two life of the Old Testament came to the New Testament. And it's nothing. You willingly neglected somebody that God gave you to get you ready for a kind of future and destiny, and you still want that future. When the person has not made you ready for that kind, when I said that I was born to raise the first 1,000 richest men, I am sure. Who can know the mind of that spirit? That particular destiny, the richest man of the earth has a mind. And there is only one teacher that gives the mind. The lion himself. So in Luke chapter 24, 27, Jesus went to the law and the prophet and extracted things that were written concerning him. Why did he go there? And if contact of ancient teachers that prepare for certain destinies are nothing, why will, in case you don't know, according to Luke translation of that encounter in chapter 9 of the book of Luke, Luke said there was a conversation there. Matthew didn't say it. There was a fellowship there. The ministry of Jesus enjoyed that messianism, that kind of honor. That kind of honor. It's a kind. Because he received it from the past. The past supported him. Wonderful past. Great past. Past that should help him in having a soul that can achieve that messianism. Put your hand together for Jesus. I've said it. I'm not teaching another head. If there's something you learned, say it. Or you have a question. When I answer it, I know I'm done. Is there a question? Stanley, is there a question? Yes.
Praise the living God.
Hallelujah.
Daddy, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
When you are talking about Moses and Jesus, you said that we read in the Bible where it says that Moses was mighty in word and deed. And also we read another scripture that said Jesus was mighty in word and deeds. And these two people, according to the Bible, they're the only people that transform from being men to God. And this being mighty in word and deed is an act of impartation. Because the Bible says that Moses was learned in the wisdom and the knowledge of Egyptians. And a Jewish man raised in Egypt. And Jesus, a Jewish man born in Israel, moved as a child to Egypt. So my question is this: if really this Bible we want to follow, why are we not really looking deep, closely to the life of these two men that transformed into being God? That these people were learned in Africa. And if this pattern is true, how do we think that the third man that will become a God will not also follow that same pattern? My question is this: these two people.
Thank you for the things you're pointing out.
These two people now, have followed this pattern, is there anything that really we are really like missing? I want you to throw more light that will form this, because I'm strongly believing that this lion is coming from here. From the people who are having the same blood of the Jews, based in Egypt, based in Africa. The ones that they were born in Israel were also brought to Egypt. The first man that became a god was Moses, and a Jewish man born in Egypt. Jesus, a Jewish man, raised in Egypt. The Lion of Judah, is it wrong to think that also he will be a Jewish man? Praise the living God.
Yeah, you just answered, you contributed, you didn't answer the question. Put your hand together for that intelligence. You know, from chaos, fire, the charismatism is chaotic. From the chaos of charismatism, people are losing their lives without knowing. Some people, the only time they know that when somebody is a fool, because a fool does not understand quick. Because he's already a fool, he doesn't understand. Now the only some fools, things only done on them when night comes. There are people that the only time they see anything clearly is when they are very close to grave. You see, because the the noise of strength, the noise of strength and sweat doesn't allow them to listen. You see, because when the voice of wisdom is very small and strength and effort is high, strength, youth is very high. It doesn't only veil the voice of wisdom, it subdues it and then allow pain to reign. And then pain will keep multiplying until the flesh is torn too much by pain or maybe age. And then when it is broken, the candlestick of the inner voice of wisdom will be coming out gradually, because it didn't die. It has always been there, but strength subdued it, waste subdued it. But when the flesh is broken after so many years of pain, that candle will now start coming out, because time and age and pain has broken the obstacle. Late. So somebody is trying to learn at the age of 60, 65, 70. Something somebody should teach him at the age of 20. Something he should know at the age of 20. Huh? And like what Deacon Stanley said, the pattern is the same. It is not just running to Egypt. It's to run to wherever you see light that you need. Particularly, the type of light you need. Type. There is always coming together by some people. The type of light you need. It is not every teacher that you need. A local Islamic pastor the other day was talking to me. a pastor. In the process, he was telling me about how I should help him pray, help him this. In the process of talking to me, he started telling me about a young preacher. A young preacher he used to admire. He used to. Now, when he told me the preacher that he used to admire, I know him from what he admires. And I know that thing was admiring was still part of his problem. Clap your hand. Some of you who are looking at me, your soul still admire devaluation. Your soul admire nonsense. Your soul admire shame. So when he started telling me somebody he admires, I know that I won't waste my time. Is there a question you have? You want to contribute something? Yes.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
So thank you for the privilege. From what you said, a man who is alive and doesn't connect to divinity is doomed. So from there, I understood that because said transformation is the gain of living. So I understood that.
That means you have read the book, or you had it. I have a book on it.
Yes, I've also been taught.
You also be taught.
Yes.
Okay.
So I understood that when a man doesn't attain to divinity and he passes, that it means he did not live, but he only existed on earth, because divinity gives men eternal relevance, both here on earth and in eternity.
Somebody, can you jam your hand together?
And you also said that life is lived from the point where the past stops. Using Moses, Elijah, Jesus, and you as an instance, what they were doing, they were passing the baton to each other. So
somebody jam your hand together. Baton, wait a minute. Baton, this thing that she said call baton, you don't take from everywhere. Excuse me. If you go to your bookshelf, we will see, just like I told you, you have phone. That is what is called supported beam. Something you like watching. After when you show them interest that you like watching it, they started giving you information from from what you watch. Is it not? Huh? Huh? And excuse me, that thing that you like watching, the people are saying watch it very well. And that is you. Some people go to bookshop. Something happened so many years ago. And they said, I'll call you back in a while. Many years ago, I went to Jos, and I and Daddy Chukuma went to a particular bookshop round about, around, is it this market in Jos now? If you follow in Jos, I came up, I don't know why, I can't remember the name again. Terminus. When you follow Terminus and go and come the other way and move, there is a bookshop somewhere there. So two of us entered there. When we finished buying book and I came out, I kept my book, the one I chose in the counter. And that this is a prophet. He looked at the captions I chose and the authors. He said, Chris? I said, yes, Dad. He said, you're looking for something? I said, Dad, how do you know? He said, it's in your selections. When he said, you're looking for something, I said, yes. That day, I bought one of E.W. Tozer's book on the kneeling Christian, the kneeling believer. I bought it the other day. The kneeling believer. I don't know that doctors were bought. He's a popular revivalist. So he saw it and others. So when he said, you're looking for something, I said yes. Because what I was looking for what was in my mind, what I wanted to know about, directed me to the books that can help me to know it. I don't know whether you're hearing. So when I come to your bookshelf and see your authors and the choice book you bought, I will know you. It's not magical. Don't tell me you're a wise man and you don't have a shelf. Nothing is called, even if you born wise, you are born wise. You still have to still develop. In fact, it is the wisdom that you have that make you to give development everything. Because wise men seek to be wise. Wisdom is meant only for the wise. God does not give wisdom to fools. It's not possible. That is why it was the wisdom of Solomon that made Solomon to ask for wisdom. I said it was what? That. Because God giveth wisdom to the wise. So Solomon was asking what he already has. A fool will never ask for wisdom because he doesn't see, it's not in him. How do you ask something you don't know about? Let me repeat something that I said. I think I've done much already. Thank you. I'll see you by 9.